क्या बात कर रहे हो? लोग डोनेट करते फिर रहे हैं कोरोना में।
Hello, good evening. This is JVC Sriram here. I will unmute the participants for now.
Hi, good evening. This is Ramesh here from Chennai.
Hi, Mr. Ramesh. Good evening. You can also type on the chat box where you're from. What do you do?
Sure, I'll do that.
You can feel free to communicate for the next few minutes. No issues. I can see. If you have some noise around yourself at your place, please mute yourself. For the next 15 minutes, I would be letting people to be on unmute so that we can keep discussing and or for the matter networking before we plunge into the webinar. Hi Archana, welcome. Archana Rati from Hyderabad. Wonderful to see you here. Good evening, Archana. Vaibhav Goyal, I can see Amrik Singh Sandhu X. Oh, Mr. Sandhu, yes. I cannot forget the drive which we had from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar. I hope you remember. Hi, Jagdish.
Vaibhav Goyal from Bareilly.
Hi, Jagdish. How are you? Good.
I'm fine.
Fantastic to see you here after a long time.
Really, great opportunity for me to see you.
Yes. So, moment you heard family business management, you thought probably I should be there. Huh?
Yes, yes, exactly. And more, yes. Yes, sure.
Chennai is, you're safe, Jagdish?
We are not very safe. You know, Chennai is in a very hot metro cases. But we are safe as family as of now.
Okay.
But otherwise, city is now, you know, Chennai is the hotspot now, and count is increasing like anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what to do. But we are managing, and we are very hopeful. Recovery case is very high.
Very high, very high.
And plus home quarantine, even for tested positive cases, very comfortable.
Yes. I'm not sure whether you're aware of it or not, that I'm writing a book which is coming to publication in the next few weeks' time on coronavirus. So today I was having a conversation with the person who's in charge of testing. I done an interview with him extensively. It is being published in the book. So he was telling that Tamil Nadu is the only place where there is community transmission as of now. And the good thing would be that herd immunity should come through because a lot of population, because the extensive testing is going on. Yeah, nobody is testing in the country like way in which Chennai is going on testing. So he was saying that it may look temporarily very bad, but in the long run, it is actually for a good thing. That is what is happening.
Correct. Because each and every case, they are detecting asymptomatic cases also, and thereby they're not bothered about the figure now going up. They know.
Exactly.
They're doing very sincerely that way. A job of going to home and identifying.
Correct. Good evening, Rahul. So you also started doing webinars, Jagdish?
Yes, so in fact, just now, a few minutes back, I had a family safety program.
Oh, amazing.
Just now finished and went to our room and had to shower and came here. And yes, we started around 2.5 months back. It's quite successful, you know, wide coverage, wide network. Very good.
Amazing.
2.5 months back, I think I waited for 1 month thinking that all this thing will be over. The moment we that this is not a temporary phenomenon.
Correct.
Trial run actually. Quite
actually, when I launched my first program, I called Sriraj to give me a testimonial. So that is when he asked me, is it going to be, you know, are you going to conduct the webinars like this only and training like this only? I said, next 1.5 years, I don't see any reason why we may start physical. You know, we must be ready for next 1 year like this.
He told me, yes.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the right track then. That means
exactly. Sir, I think it is very economical.
who moved my cheese? Who moved
Yeah.
our cheese now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we started smelling, right? Correct.
Yes.
Could not smell, honestly. The entire world could not smell wherever we go. Please.
Murali
question
is from Kenya.
Oh.
Welcome, Murali.
Yes, Sriram, how are you?
Sundaram, top of the world. How are you? Long time. It's
Long
been.
time, yes.
You threw me out of Kenya on May 19th. After that, you are not welcoming back.
In fact, they threw me out of Kenya on 7th March. I came only on 5th June.
Oh, you're back to Nairobi. Is that okay? Okay, good.
That's right, yes.
Great to see you here.
So, how are things, Srinidhi? You are in
Things are
Hyderabad now?
fantastic. Yeah, very much in Hyderabad. Nowhere to go.
How is Hyderabad?
Very good.
COVID?
Nobody is getting tested, so no cases. But cases are still there.
But life is normal?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Going on.
Mm-hmm. Offices are open, factories are open, everything is going on normal.
Yeah. It's open. With minimal, whoever can work from home or working from home. That's how it is going on now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's not normal. It's a new norm.
That's right. Yes, it's a good thing also.
It's a new norm, You all have to adapt to this new norm.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sandhu, I'm seeing you after a very long time, if I'm right.
Yeah,
After 14 or 15 years, 13 years, I guess.
maybe because I left Gati in 2009, 11 years back.
Yeah.
So you can add easily 3-4 years.
Exactly. I remember that drive which we had from Mumbai to Panjagni.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Peter is still with.
Yeah, he is with Gati only.
Yeah.
He's taken over by All Cargo, but he's there.
One join பண்ணா தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும்.
If any of your friends, probably are not able to join a little later, if you get a call, Rahul or any one of you, because you had sent a lot of mails, because we had a lot of responses. We are also live on YouTube at the same time. At the same moment, we are going live on YouTube, on public. So it's 6:23. I think there are a lot of people today who are first time attending my webinar. I've been hosting since April 9th, because I told my regular viewers that, better pass on the message to people who are running family business than just coming. So I think that spread a lot of messages. I guess more than 65 to 70% of the participants are first time coming to my webinar. So normally it happens is if the webinar is supposed to start by 6:30 or whatever is the time, 15 minutes before I open the room, and it goes for 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes, and then I open the room for question answer, and we will have a quick interaction, and whichever time it goes on, and then we close the webinar. That's how it happens. Good evening, Meenal from Jaipur. Good evening. Good evening to all the YouTube viewers also. You can pass, I can see some comments on the YouTube. So I would be glad to answer to them on the question answer session. If I don't get that, then I would be answering to you on the end of the webinar. YouTube would have a time lag. Normally I don't do it, but we have 5 more minutes and a lot of people are joining. So if you have any questions specifically, it's not that I have certain things in agenda. I'll also tell you why we came out of this webinar on family business management. We've been doing a series of, this is my 16th or the 17th webinar. We've been doing it for every week since April 9th. April 9th, 2020 is when I first went live on a webinar. If you have any specific question, you can type in the chat box so that I can incorporate it as the session goes on. Or if you want to ask me privately also, you can, in your chat box, you can choose to privately and send it across to me. I would have no challenges in taking any of your questions, which I can see if I can incorporate it in my webinar itself. I'm not saying that I have answers for every question which people have. I strive to answer as much as possible with my experience of having worked with several family business owners over the past 22 years. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat box, or you have any specific question you want to raise your hand. We have another 4 minutes, exactly 4 minutes to go. We are very particular in starting on time. Meenal, I do not have to record this webinar because we are live on YouTube. So there is,
all right, sir.
Yeah, so there is, I don't think there's a need for recording this webinar. Yeah. Not seeing any question in the chat box. Anybody? Yes, sir. Hello, sir. I'm running for my family business, but facing some issues at the time of vertical expansion. Okay. How can we compete with another family business? Can you be more specific, Vaibhav? Can you come on my private chat and ask me a more specific question? Because it looks like a generic question. I understand now that you have a family business, and within your family itself, there is a split. And are you competing with that family who had split from your family?
No, not with my family. It is like I am into my family business. My brother or say my friend is into a family business, similar.
Okay.
So in that case, how can we compete? Reason being my friend, I cannot ask him to do anything adverse, or I cannot ask him to do something in my favor.
Right.
So accordingly, my question raises, how can I compete with that person?
Yes. Okay. I got it. I got what you're saying. Somebody is asking me for the YouTube link, which I would send it across immediately. Thank you very much. Who had asked? I'm putting it on public. About the same family, sir. Yeah, okay. Somebody is asking me about the same family. I don't know who's the person. AP is the person who has asked me the YouTube link. I've shared it with everyone now. So if anybody wants to go on YouTube, they can watch it on YouTube too. So we have quite a lot of people here. Somebody asked me the first question when I put the flyer that why do you have Ambani's, because they've already split. I said, I talked about the last thing, the rise and fall of family business. So that defines clearly. Somebody privately said the family business are not going on well, but still the elders are following the same traditional way down. How to convince the elders to change? Okay, I'm going to address that. I think somebody has asked a very, very pertinent question. Okay, I'm going to unmute. I'm going to mute all. I'm not going to allow participants to unmute themselves. Very, very pertinent question before I start the webinar. It's just a minute now to go. If the family business is not going on well, but still the elders are following the same traditional way, then how to convince the elders to change the style of business for safe or better future? Okay, I think if you heard this question right, if you are agreeing with it, that a lot of, it may not be with your business, but you're seeing it happening in many businesses, type in the chat box, yes, the same situation. I repeat the question. It's a wonderful question. If the family business is not going on well, but still the elders are following the same traditional way, then how to convince the elders to change the style of business for safe or better future? Wonderful question from Krishna. I don't know where Krishna is from or what business he's into. Many of them are typing privately and also in public, same situation. Yes, I think it's going to be one of the most important topic which I'll be dwelling on in the next few minutes time. Good evening. This is JVC Sriram here. Welcome to the webinar on family business management. And it's my privilege because I know quite a few of you, but many of you are people who have come to this webinar through the other people who have been attending my webinar since the last 3 months. It's exactly in the month of April, first week, that I started my first webinar without any knowledge about, how do I go online? How do I conduct the webinar? One client of mine trusted with me and gave this responsibility. On the same day, I went for a public webinar, and now we are in the 17th or 18th webinar, and I've ran 2 courses online also. And I will tell you at the beginning itself, I disclose it. There are webinars where at the end, I would give some offers to people to take action and join a course. And this webinar is not such. There is no course coming up. There is no sales going to happen. There is no sales pitch going to happen. It's purely, I feel that if 79% of the country's GDP is dependent on the family business in this country, and if over 70% of the world's GDP is contributed by the family business, and right in front of my eyes, I have seen the rise and fall of family businesses. And because of the bird's eye view and the ant's view, which means I've looked at it from the air of how they operate, and being a consultant in the last few years, particularly in Kenya and East Africa, I've actually spent a lot of time sitting with the family members and helping them as a consultant to run their business. I've seen the rise and fall right in front of my eyes. And I was running a program called Become a Speaker. I'm training and coaching several speakers to become trainers and coaches. Second batch. I think exactly last Thursday, 10 days back, when we had this session, one of them was giving a speech saying that I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a lawyer, I work for a very large company, a multinational company, but I actually want to be in business. I'm a businessman by blood, by birth. But somehow I could never, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is a family business. And the moment he said this, several other people were sitting, because many of them were from Rajasthan and Gujarat in that particular batch, they echoed the same feelings. And then I started. Then I said, I used to be paid by some of the groups $3,000, $4,000 for 1.5 hour session on family business management, where I address the dealers and distributors of large companies. So I feel it is my responsibility to share certain things which are critical. And particularly, I'm going to share, most important aspect I'm going to share are 2 or 3 things. One, the transition, the generation gaps which exist in the business, and how COVID-19 has given us a wonderful opportunity. This big pause, this long pause has given us a wonderful and amazing opportunity to look at things from a different perspective. What is the role of the elder generation? What is the role of the younger generation? This transition point, what can be done? It's not the question of whether they are right and you are wrong, or you are right and they are wrong. It is not that. It is a paradox. They are right from their perspective. When I say they, the first generation and second generation. And when I say you, the third generation, they're also right. Now, somewhere we will have to see things from the other person's perspective and see what is good for the business. So one of the important points I'm going to be speaking about is a transition. When do I give the transition? How do I make it happen? What is the succession plan which is going to happen? And how do I persuade? Because one side, I'm going to be speaking about it in detail, is that one side of the story is I have a friend of mine in Kenya. His name is Jiten. Jiten always says, Sriram, sons are the sins of business. I repeat, sons are the sins of the business. In this market, we have seen a lot of people the son taken over and the business has collapsed. I also agree, but not necessarily. Sons have also been great assets for business. Number two, if father brick by brick, dream by dream, desire by desire, built an empire, son walks and says, Dad, I want to go and work for Amazon. I want to work for Microsoft. I don't want to be working here. I want to be associated with some of the big companies. Now, what do you do? How do I persuade? How do I tell that young boy, hey, don't be the tail of a tiger. Instead, be the head of the cat and see whether you can transform this cat into a tiger. Now, how do I do that? So that's another point which I would like to discuss. Number three, how do I bring in professionals? Because this is another thing which has been a big question mark for many of the business people. When do I bring the professionals? And once I have brought the professional, how do I treat those professionals? What is your objective of bringing a professional? Is the objective of bringing your professional is to go and tell the market that my business today has got a CEO who was earlier working with Unilever, who was working with Procter & Gamble, who was working with Godrej and Boyce, and he was working as a general manager, and now he's a CEO, and he's an IIM from Ahmedabad. Is that the reason why you want to bring a professional to the organization? Or do you want to really use that professional to make your business into an organization? Do we know the objective? Because organizations have paid, suffered billions of dollars because they made the wrong decision. I'll give you an example. So first and foremost, before you want to bring a professional into your business, ask what is the objective? Objective, not even vision. Number two, what is the vision that you have for your business? And then bring in the professional. And first and foremost, do you need to bring professional? Is your family member itself can become a professional? And number three, in the COVID phase, in the COVID-19 phase, which we are going through, or the family businesses, what are they going? Where are they heading? Today, I didn't open, when I say physically, I just opened my WhatsApp and I saw the Business Standard newspaper, e-copy. And what do I see in the first page? I think it's Business Standard. Probably I'll tell you in the end of the webinar. The first page, the last column, family businesses report so much of loss during COVID-19. I said, what, it's a coincidence or what? How did these guys come to know that I'm going to do a webinar on family business and right here, there is a news item on family business. So in this COVID time, how do we handle? So these are the predominant things which we are looking at in terms of this webinar. Now, one of the first thing which I would like to do is to ask yourself is that as a family, because I've seen, when I asked this question, how many years you are into the business has been into existence. There are people who have written before independence, even before I was born. There were businesses which were founded in 1952. It has survived so many years. And when I see those kind of participants here, it's amazing. And also, I know quite a few chartered accountants are here. And many of you chartered accountants are there, and some of them doctors are also there. 1904, okay. Meenal Sharma mentions that their business has been in existence, sports goods business, if I'm right, has been in existence since 1904. So how many generations it must have seen? And they're watching. One login, but they're watching, the family members are watching this webinar. Now, what's the secret? What do we do? So let's look at some data and then move further into it. So I'm going to share the screen right away. Just give me a moment. I hope you're able to see the screen right away, okay? So, family business management, what are we looking at? According to the Family Firm Institute, 30% of family business survive into the second generation. 12% are viable into the third generation. And only about 3% of all businesses go beyond the fourth generation. This is something which is to be noted very carefully. So which generation you are in? When Meenal Sharma says our business has been in existence, our family business has been in existence since 1904, which means probably it has seen 5 or 6 generations, a century they have seen, more than a century. So what is it? Because as a family and business, they go hand in hand. And I would also like to talk about the family and the culture. And I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it or not. I'm going to share with you some of the family businesses. You may never have thought that these are family businesses. And these are scaled up. These have become big. These are listed in stock exchanges all over the world, all over the globe. And they're making a big difference. And look at those names and you'll be surprised. Novartis is a family business. Roche is a family business. Walmart is the #1 family business in the world. Facebook is a family business. Zuckerberg's sister founded him when he started his company. Toyota is a family business. BMW is a family business. Samsung is a family business. Volkswagen is a family business. Koch Industries is a family business. Cargill is a family business. Now you look at now the names and you'll be surprised and shocked. This is what family business have been to the world. There have been some amazing, but many of them, if they have to scale up, they have brought the professionals. So this session, I'm not saying that all of you need to become like this. You have to become another Novartis or another Walmart or another Roche. Well, that depends upon your vision and objective. I will only share with you, if you have to become that, one of the first 2 or 3 things that you have to understand. The basics have to get right. After that, you have to do several other things. What are the basics you have to do to bring the professionals? That I would be sharing in the next few minutes' time. The top 10 family businesses in the world. First thing is, change is an essential element to run a successful family business. And now is the opportunity. COVID-19 has given you an amazing opportunity, because how many of you have been working on your business and how many of you have been working in your business? Most of us have been working in our business and not on our business. And this is something which is very, very essential. Change, adaptability. Right from 9th of April till today, my book itself is based on this. And I'm going to spend a few minutes on this. Now, this is where the COVID gives you an amazing opportunity to change the way you function as a family business organization. In terms of people, in terms of strategy, in terms of finances. These 3 are the big pillars. Now, what is it? Because COVID-19 has given us an opportunity, and I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes on this thing, because it is the most critical element as far as the family business is concerned. Every business is concerned, but family business even more. Pre-corona, it was survival of the fittest. Post-corona, it is not the survival of the fittest, it is the survival of the fastest, quickest, and swiftest to change. Have you changed your business model? Have you even asked yourself this question, what business model am I adopting now? Because somebody asked me yesterday a question. Sridham, are you okay? Things are running. I said, I'm running okay. I'm absolutely fine. But I said, to produce the same result what I produced before Corona, to produce the same result now, I will have to work 200% more effective and efficient. Not hard, just 200% more effective and efficient, because I have to bring in the change, I will have to adapt to the change, and I will have to implement it faster. Now ask yourself this question, because family businesses traditionally, the greatest cornerstone of its success is it worked like that 20 years back, it worked like that 30 years back, it worked like that 5 years back, it worked last year, and it has been working. Although the world has been changing, but still your customer loyalty is there. You had a unique selling proposition. You were able to give an outcome to the customer, as a result of which customers kept coming to you again and again and again. All these were in your favor. But the game has changed, my dear friend, now. It's no more the same game. It's not the game. And in this game, what I did in the month of March, I continue to do. You cannot survive. You cannot survive. One of the industries which has come back fastest and which is expected to come back fastest is the business where I belong to. Training, coaching. But I know several trainers and several coaches who have not had a revenue, any revenue since April. Since March 15th, they've not had. I'm trying to coach them now. I'm trying to help them out. Now, why? Because they are waiting for the classroom sessions to start. They're waiting for something. It will not happen. It's not going to happen in the next foreseeable future. So, but vaccine may come. Vaccine may come. But when will it reach you? And what is the guarantee? How much guarantee is there that it will reach you? Not only it will reach you in a safe manner and there is no side effects. Nobody can predict that. Nobody can predict that. As a result of which, every family business owner will have to ask himself this question: what is the change I'm going to bring in my business? So, the time is now to work on your business and not in your business. In your businesses, you delivering training program, you selling real estate, you selling sports goods, you doing architectural projects and interior designing, you doing project management consultancy, you filing returns. Chartered accountants may not be required to file returns in the next 5 years. Automation, everything will be automated. As a result of which, chartered accountants are not going to be there, they're going to be there. Chartered accountants will continue to be there. But chartered accountants would not be doing what they were doing, vouching work. Automation will come. There is no need for a big four chartered accountant going and sitting in a public limited firm and vouching everything. It is not going to exist in the next 3 years. And if you have put all your effort to work on that particular skill, and that skill is no more going to be needed in the market, where will you find yourself, my dear friend? No, Sriram, I've seen all these things. I've been a chartered accountant for the last 45 years. Things have not changed. Things have changed. All the changes have been on regulations and acts, but now the method of delivery itself is changing. When the method of delivery is changing, because my method of delivery has changed, and people have found it economical, people have found it cost effective, as a result of which more and more people are embracing this change. So the time is now, the big pause should allow family businesses, because today we have some clarity. In the first week of April, we didn't have a clarity, because we were thinking that if Corona comes, people will die. Now we know pretty well Corona comes. As long as you're healthy and hale and healthy, you're not having, your immunity power is good. The chances are even an 80-year-old, my teacher, who got affected by Corona in Chennai next to Parsardi Temple, he was able to come out safely. His wife got it, and she was also able to come out safely. So now we have some kind of clarity, which was not there 2 months back. Now we know. So as a result of which, survival of your business is not going to be a question mark, because the business owner is going to be alive. Number two, business also will be there. But this is the time for the family to sit together and ask yourself, the way I delivered my business till before Corona and the way I'm going to deliver the business post-Corona in every vertical. Because I know pretty well some vertical you can move into things very fast. I know there are a few training companies that are also there, but they're also selling products. Have you ever thought of selling products online? Have you already gone into it? Because other companies have already moved into it. Where is the model for you? And online, you don't have collection problems. Because a lot of businesses are having collection problems of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 150 days. You chase. Because most of in my book I'm covering, in my book which is ready for publishing, in the next few weeks it's going to get published, I'm covering most of the family-owned business are today MSMEs. Even if you are not MSMEs before, now you have become MSME because of the new restructuring which has happened by the government of India. Even if you're a 200 or 250 crore company, you're an MSME now. And most MSME, where is the problem? The problem is MSMEs are forced to supply at the least margin. The margins are the least by the top-notch cash-rich companies. Think about it. They negotiate, they bargain, they again and again bargain. And the payment is, credit is for 90 days, 120 days. When I'm writing in my book, if an MSME operates at 90% capacity, and if he or she is able to pay his EMIs on time, then he will have enough cash to take care of all the compliances and he will not take anything home. And this is the fate of many family businesses. So now what is the new model? Have you worked on your business? How much time per day have you spent on working on your business? Digital is going to be the way forward. How are you going to digitally deliver? Delivery is going to happen digitally. Everything. Because the moment, because understand, every phase something comes and it creates a disruption, and the disruption stays longer. 2007, 2008, 2009, the subprime crisis. What did it do? It ensured that every bank moves online. Till that point of time, I can go to the bank and apply for a loan and get the loan and come back. But post that, what happened? No, sir, you have to apply. Okay, you're applying it, but still we have to submit online, CIBIL report, this report, that report, because everything had been online. So understand, every inflection point in the world creates a disruption. I repeat, every inflection point in the world creates a disruption. And the pandemic of this proportion, which has caused a pandemonium, will cause a huge disruption. The world hasn't seen anything of this kind for the last 102 years. Spanish flu was the last one which we saw in 1918. After that, we have not seen anything of this kind. Human-to-human transmission, asymptomatic patients, we've not seen. So this is going to be a great inflection point which will cause disruption. So I can give you a personal example. I thought, in fact, I've been repeating again and again and again. Last 4 months, I have worked the way in which I've never worked in my life. No Amazon Prime, no nothing. I've been repeating it again and again. So what did I do? I asked myself, so what all the things which I should do? So I'd ask myself, Sriram, do you think you will be going to every webinar and selling? No. In fact, till now, more than 17 to 18 webinars I've conducted, and some of you are a witness to that. And I have offered sales only 3 times. Everything else is free. Why? What? You have to provide enormous value. That's why I said the business which you have to do today to get the business, what you used to get pre-March 2020, you will have to work with 200% effectiveness and efficiency. It is not that business will not come. Business will come. It is not that money will not come. Money will come. So what do I need to do? I need to sit down with my family members. Look at what is their strength. Shed my ego. In fact, I was telling one of my very close friends, Rajesh. He was a financier. I told him when he went to the month of May to start his business, we were sharing, and he was saying, Sriram, it looks like I'm going to my business for the first time. It is as if it's like opening my business, starting my business. I said, that's the thing. I also felt the same thing on April 9th. If you are not feeling that way, let me tell you, I'm sorry, my dear friend, when a family business goes through crisis, not many people will come to their rescue. I've seen this. I'm not sure how many of you will agree with me or not. I've seen several businesses right in front of my eyes. Some of you are a witness to it sitting from Kenya here. 2014, amazing company. 2015, amazing company. 2016, some problem. 2017, KL Khatam Dukan Band. A $750 million company, KL Khatam Dukan Band. When a family business enters into a crisis, the family alone will have to take care. Nobody else comes. And family businesses are vulnerable for collapse. As a result of which, in fact, families just split. It may be the time to consolidate. It may be the time to come back. Because when I came to Hyderabad, jewelry was controlled by a few businesses. And nobody outside Hyderabad would never ever think of coming to Hyderabad. And you will have only local business owners. But today, I don't know the name. Why? What happened? Every single family broke. Whether it be Tibarmal, Musadilal, Mangatrai. They were all one family, having several outlets. And what they wanted, every member now wanted independence. No, I will operate individually. I will operate. So what has happened? You have allowed all the other competition to come from outside of the state to come and start here. There is also the time for consolidation. Because when you are a stronger unit, it is better to fight the enemy than be alone. Alone, you are weak. Together, we are strong. And this mantra is applicable now. Those of them who are thinking of, okay, splitting, now it is a question of coming together. This is the time for fusion, not fission. This is the time to come together. Because what happens when you come together? Fund flows increase. Balance sheets look better. Even if one branch is not doing well, another branch will compensate. As a result of which there will be, because at least we'll survive this phase together. So this is the time for families to come together than to look at each other as competition. Because instead of somebody else winning, let me help my family member. Let me help my cousins who have got separated. Bring them back. Bring them back. This is not the time for ego. This is not the time for thinking about, oh my God, what should I do? No, this is the time to be together. In fact, I am going to host a meeting in the next few days once my book is completed. Last bit is there for the training fraternity. I reached out to my trainers. I said, let's have a Zoom call. Let's meet up together. What are you doing? Because together, let's help each other in the fraternity. Because that got to be the feeling. Community feeling has to come. Because it's Prime Minister Modi can come out and say, go vocal for local. But are we going vocal for your own family? Are you going vocal for your own community? We have to live by community. I'm not talking about, the caste and all those stuff. Towards the community. Let the business be within us. First, let it be within the family. So let the family come together, let the family consolidate. If there is one member of the family who has strayed and went out, this is the time, Corona is the time, because you're going to work on the business. To pull up and say, Vijay, come back. This is the time we have to be together. We can't be alone. You can't be doing something different. Because this is the time for change. I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time on this slide because I wanted to go inside that each one of us will have to work on the business. I've worked on my business. I've looked at, although I've said, you can go as far as you can see, from there you can see further. You can go as far as you can see, from there you can see further. So I said, okay, let me take one day at a time also, but I've thought about, okay, next week, what do you do? Next month, what do you do? What's your plan? When do you launch that? What is the revenue? Yes, the revenues are not going to come the way in which it used to come before. But we have to plan. For that, we have to work on the business. Delivery of service, customer acquisition. How do I acquire the customer? How do I consolidate the entire talent in my team? And this is where the people are going to play a very important role. So strategies for family business has got 4 things: people strategy, business strategy, finance strategy, and leading to a sustainable growth. I'm here going to more or less concentrate more on the people strategy. So what is the people strategy which we are talking about? Number 1, the greatest asset of a family business is family and business are together. The biggest disadvantage for a family business is family. The biggest advantage for a family business is family. Now, what is that you're going to use? Because at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, cousins, father and son, uncle, it's easier to resolve differences within the family. Blood is thicker than water. This is the time to go vocal and say, blood is thicker than water. Let me figure it out with my brother. I've had an ego issue with him for years together. But this is the time, because together we survive. Because enemy's enemy is my friend. So that's how it is. So you work it out. Now the outside enemy is Corona. We are all fighting against Corona. The pandemic called Corona, which has caused the pandemonium. So your neighbor is not your enemy anymore. So people's strategy, which is a very critical thing. In the people's strategy, now inclusive. The elder generation and the younger generation will have to start seeing eye to eye, which has not happened for a long time. Now, type in the chat box, because I don't want to. In many of my webinars, I ask people to, type in the chat box. But type in the chat box if you agree with me that it is only by being together we can fight it out. We are together. That's what is the message I want in the chat box. Okay, before I go further, if you want to be together, somebody is saying, I am blessed with joint family with 75 members which operate in a single kitchen and have joint business with 3 generations. Amazing. Amazing. Type in the chat box. We are together as a family. We are together because family business means it's time to shed the differences. No, because it may be you have to go and reach out to people. Agree with you, having family with 60 people, 3rd generation in this industry. Amazing. We are together. Vaibhav, Mayur Jain, Meenal Shah, Sharma, Archana Rati. Superb. Agree with rescue things. Exactly. So that's how it is. We are together. Wonderful. So now comes the most important thing called as succession planning. This is where the challenge is. The old man doesn't want to go. He wants to keep coming. I'm sorry. Whoever is the old man here, no issues. Doesn't want to go. He wants to hold the reins. We can fight together only as a family. Vikas Gutapati. Yes, exactly. So what do we do? Now, let us understand that generation gaps exist. Please follow me for the next few minutes because you would not have heard anywhere. It is normally mentioned that if I am at the age of 45, I am very comfortable dealing with the age group of 32 to 58. Now think about yourself. Even if you are, say, 45 years old, the customers whom you are comfortable dealing with are in the age group of 32 to 58, plus or minus 12, 13, maximum 15 years. So obviously, the younger generation and the elder generation are not going to see eyes together. Younger generation wants freedom. Elder generation has wisdom. Now, wisdom of the elderly and the energy and the innovation of the youth, when it comes together, it can be a deadly combination. But there are several businesses. We have seen only extremes. I would like to see that extreme getting shedded and we embrace this. I've seen younger generations getting parachuted on top of the business, which has resulted in the failure of several businesses. I am always an advocate of one thing. I'm not sure how many of you will agree with me or not. Just because the younger generation has gone to IIM or XLRI or ISB or London School of Economics or some school in England or UK, and he or she comes and stays as an intern for a few years or few months even, and then given a label called director, this is a recipe for disaster. Sons are the sins. It has happened. I've seen right in front of my eyes. What is his age? 23, 24. What is he? Director. And he is going to give orders to somebody who has worked in the company for 25 years. Recipe for disaster. Companies have gone bankrupt. Absolutely. This is one end of the spectrum. Another end of the spectrum. The poor guy has done his MBA. The poor guy has come back to the business. And poor guy has some ideas. But father says, "Chup. It's only my way. No. That way and all. Amazon and all, don't listing Amazon and all. No, not required. This is the way it has to operate. This is the way it has to operate. This is the way it has to function." And the guy is absolutely frustrated. He has brilliant ideas. Now, either we have this extreme or the other extreme. And some of them do not have. In fact, one of them came and said, Sriram, I had to go and tell my mummy. Mom, Papa doesn't listen to me. Allow me to either go and start another company. Give me some money because you're rich. I will start some company and start doing things. So where do we balance? Number one, succession planning. Every successful enterprise, if I'm into a retail business and if my son has done his MBA in retail in UK, let him work outside my business as an employee, learn, and then come back to my business. And come back to my business not as a director, he has to be an employee. The day you are given him, let him graduate to that level. And allow him to graduate. Once he has graduated, now pass on the reins to him. And once you have passed on the reins to him, gradually allow him and give him the space. Because what is happening is, either you give him the position of a director and give him all the freedom and it is leading to a disaster. We have seen, I don't want to name the companies. Either one way is that. Another way is, he is called as a director, but he's a puppet. Every decision is taken by the superior. Now, communication. This is where many of the family businesses require a third party and intervention who has to sit there and actually guide both the elderly and the younger. Egos. Because what happens is, next generation. Number one, will they come? They should come. Because I really believe that there is no point in going and developing Amazon and Microsoft and Apple. You can turn your business into a Microsoft, into an Amazon. Should they come? Yes. How and when? They should come after having worked as an ordinary employee in another company. And once they are ready, they have to come, and they need to come as an employee. And they will have to earn the right of becoming a director. If they don't do it, it is a recipe for disaster. Even chartered accountancy firms, I'm sorry guys, some of you are CAs here, maybe some of you will drop out of the webinar right now. You can't become a partner straight away. Papa has built that firm for 50 years. I'll talk about what Papa should do. Different story altogether. But son cannot, because in many chartered accountancy firms, what used to happen is the room is ready, the chair is ready, the visiting card is ready, everything is ready, but the guy has not completed his exam. He's not passed. Moment he passes, he immediately becomes a partner. You can't build an organization. You can only be a partnership firm for the rest of your life. Otherwise, what will happen? They will come and sons will become the sins. That's what the next slide will say. Tight controls by the earlier generation. If the earlier generation has got too much of control, let me tell you, they would not come. They would not come because today's generation needs some kind of freedom. If every decision is going to be taken by them, because after 15 years, somebody comes and tells me, and this Corona time is the time for the younger generation to be given innovation, technology, digitization. Hey, Buddha ho gaya yaar, you will not be in a position to understand all these things. I was speaking to a guy who's, I don't want to name the name, a very good friend of mine. I was doing an interview for the book. He was telling me he's selling a lot of textile products and everything. He told me, Sriram, you know what? I'm not wanting to sell in Amazon because my product range is around 150, 200 rupees. I think in Amazon and all, if you can sell only for 500, 600 rupees, it will go. But my son is still asking me to list in Amazon. I said, books are sold in Amazon. And most of the books are 150 or 200 rupees. iPhone covers are sold in Amazon. It's 150 to 200 rupees. No, my son is going on telling me, but when you are telling me, I can understand now. Tomorrow itself, I'll list. This poor son has been telling you for the last 1.5 years, and you have not listened. And because you have somebody like Sriram who is going to charge you, say for 1 hour, he's going to charge you 25,000 rupees. And because you have paid him 25,000 rupees, you're listening to him. Isn't it a crime? Give them the idea. Give them small pilot works. Let them prove it. And then onboard them into the family business. Once they have graduated, because in family business, another thing happens. Moment the chota bhai comes, the employees itself, chota bhai, chota bhai, chota bhai, chota bhai. So as a result of which, he doesn't learn. He is not given the scope to learn. He is not allowed to learn. Who made him that? It is neither this way nor that way. Do not give him complete freedom. At the same time, allow him to share the ideas. What is not required is what I see in family business is the younger generation carrying the ego that I'm the father of the chairman. Disaster. You are an employee of this company. You are not just the son of a chairman. That's very, very critical. And that's a message which the chairman has to deliver to everybody. Now, this is what is required. Otherwise, what will happen? Sons are the sins for business. Generational paradox. What is the generational paradox? Elder generation will have to give the time to listen to the younger generation. Younger generation will have to understand that I am not here because you have not built a business. You have not built it brick by brick. And your father also has not built it brick by brick. Your father, along with all the employees who are no more there in the organization, they built it. You don't have any right to claim ownership of something. In fact, I asked one of the sons, okay, this particular oil, when it was launched, it was your dad who made it the success. Now, can you tell me what is that one product you have made it a success? He was very uncomfortable. After that, he stopped talking with me. Because he didn't want to hear this. He didn't want to hear from me. And for the younger generation, let me throw a challenge at this point in time. COVID has thrown a challenge at you. Rise up to the occasion. Come out with innovation. Go digital. Transform your business. And show to the elder generation that this is what I can do. And see what a difference it can make. Sons become sins of the business when the father is playing the role of a father in the business, not as the chairman or managing director or the business head. Sons become really powerless when, again, it is the father who sits there as a chairman of the business, not as a chairman. Because as a father, you look at him, Hare, he's my son, he doesn't know. So neither is applicable. You look at him as another talent. You look at him as another professional. You look at him as another employee. If you can't look that, then you are not fit to be the chairman of the enterprise. You're not. You got to have that kind of impassionate. Somebody is asking how to make them understand. How to make them understand, they should have attended. In fact, that's why I told some of them, ensure that you are sitting there and putting it on speaker and ensure that your older generations are also listening to this. And some of them are doing that. This is what is the need of the hour. The generational paradox. Generational paradox has to be broken. Otherwise, Papa will still say, that is not required, this is not. He will think that audit will survey, bank audit will survey for a long time. No! That's not going to. Vouching is not going to. Tomorrow is going to be mergers and acquisitions. Just giving an example. At the end of the next 1 year, several hotels are going to be coming out for sale. The brands are not going to die, but the owners behind the brands, the hands are going to change. There are 100 hotels of Marriott alone. Let me take Marriott alone has about 100 properties. And not a single property is owned by Marriott. And most of them are owned by people who have other business interests. And in Hyderabad itself, just giving an example, not necessarily Marriott, the business owner is into huge loss and he will not be able to run it. So what will happen? Distress sale is going to happen. Properties which were probably valued at probably 4,000 crores, 3,000 crores are going to come down to 800 crores and 1,000 crores. And guys like Blackstone are going to pick up that. and chartered accountants will have an important role to play. Now, this is the space where the money is going to be there. And where the money used to be there is going to get automated. Now, the father and son will have to sit together and talk about it, saying, okay, let's work on the business, on the practice. And let's not work every day. In the business means what? You're vouching every day. You're filing GST returns every day. On the businesses, where are the opportunities going to come? And how do I prepare myself? An energy of the young, experience of the elderly, and energy of the young, and the innovation of the young will take you places. So that is what. What if they don't come? Now that is where you have to play an important role. You will have to look at alternative. You have to look at alternative. You have to hand over the business to somebody else. You have to come. You have to probably look at bringing professionals into the business, and that's how it is going to be. And the next slide alone, I'm going to take time. After that, I'll run through it because this is going to be important. The next two, and challenges to future planning. What are the challenges? Dispute between brothers. This is the time where you have to go and say, okay, it's not between. We are no more fighting against each other. We are fighting against Corona. That's the thing. You know what? Family business have a very peculiar thing. There is a franchisee business in Pune. Some of you know it because you're associated with that organization. Running very successfully. It was running very successfully. And husband and wife had bought that franchisee. Unfortunately, there was a divorce and they had built a beautiful business. But family, because the divorce was there, it's gone. As a result of which, somebody else is reaping the benefit today on all the hard work was done by the husband and wife. And as a family business owner, are you prepared for contingencies and emergencies which are going to come? How many family businesses have got a legal will written, which is also important. And that is causing a lot of challenges for every family business. So these are things, if you're not got, because I'm not a legal expert, you should go talk to a legal expert. You know, you can't be like Jayalalitha. Jayalalitha said, after me dying, party will find its own leadership and find a way. You know, you can't do that as a chairman of a business. You will have to find a way, and which is very, very critical. Legal will. Next. What are the drivers for the growth? What is the objective of your business? I'm going to take another 10 minutes. That's all. Then I'll close it. Objective and vision. What is your objective? Is your objective is run my business as a business or turn it into an organization? Now, Sriram, what do you say? Nothing. You know, if I am, as far as I'm concerned, Aura Leadership Foundation has taken a backseat. jvcsriram.com. My branding has completely changed. Makeover. Aura Leadership Foundation is only for GST, is only for the name. My every effort, my objective and vision has changed. So as a result of which, I am running a one-man show. The problem is, I'm running a one-man show, but I'm talking about great things about my company. I'll build a world-class company, something fundamentally wrong. I've seen some of the greatest of the guys whom I admire have done this blunder. The entire organization is dependent on one guy. And that guy goes on talking about, I will build a great organization. I want a great organization. No! Take you away. Nothing is there in the business. You are the fuel, you are the petrol, you are the diesel, you are the gas, you are everything. Now, your business, is it that or beyond you, there is a business? But Sriram, beyond you, there is no business? No, in my book I'm writing. In the author's note I'm writing. I'm absolutely sanguine that 100 years from now, somebody will be holding this book and reading it to know how humanity together and businesses together fought this pandemic, and there will be a reference point. Now, that's my vision. My legacy is my work. My legacy is not my business. My legacy is not my organization. What is your legacy? If your legacy is your personal legacy, then you don't need professionals. If your legacy is an organizational legacy, because my book, my work will live beyond my life. That's the thing which I want. My YouTube videos will live beyond me. That's it. My organization may not live beyond me. There was a time I was thinking, but now no. So what is your vision? This is the vision. So right now we are in survival mode. All of us are in survival mode. We have to somehow or other survive through this corona. Then we have to sustain, and then we have to grow. And now, do you want to run your business in a more professional basis or not? Let me answer to that question. If you are running an organization which is going to live beyond you, you need professionals. If you want to run a business which will have an existence with you, then you don't need professionals. And when you have professionals, please understand empowerment is required. If empowerment is not there, then they're not professionals. Why do people leave? People leave and everything has to be taken, every decision has to be taken by the owners. Then what is the role for the managers? I still remember. I know some of you maybe even knowing whom I'm speaking about. It's okay. I don't have a problem. I was sitting there. Here was a company which had recruited a CEO paying close to around $300,000. $300,000 and total outflow for the company is $500,000. $500,000 in those days, I'm talking about a couple of years back, is close to around 4.5 crores, 4.5 crores. Company had splashed. And one day, a senior manager, I've been a consultant with this company for a long time, even before the CEO came. One of the managers, senior managers, came to the owner of the company and was actually sitting there in his cabin. Owner of the company. He was the son of the founder. Founder is the old man. And this manager was telling him that you are telling me to take this way, work this way, and CEO is telling this way. Now tell me, whom should I listen to? He didn't even bother about my presence there. He looked at that manager and said, hey, it is me who's paying you. It is me who's paying the CEO. So now you know whom to listen to. Now, do you know you've destroyed the organization? Some of you may be thinking a small thing is doing. No, it's not. I'm not talking about a small thing. When you say, I am paying you salary, which means it's you. CEO cannot be taking salary from this owner. CEO must be taking salary from the company. The moment you have said, I am paying the salary, which means your company may be a public limited company, but you're still operating like a pan dabbawala. I pay my driver salary to my driver. I pay salary to my maid. I pay salary to my assistant. I pay, not company. But Ambani can't say that I am paying salary to so and so. It's Reliance which is paying, and Reliance is bigger than Ambani. Now, what happened? Within a matter of weeks, everybody in the organization came to know what the owners were thinking. That although they hired a CEO, although they paid huge salary to the CEO, but it is the owners are still calling the shots. Understand, as an owner, family business gives you a great advantage, which is the commitment towards the business. But that itself can become the biggest hazard for the business. Another company, amazing company, but there was one asshole in that company. That's all, that's enough. One of the family member happens to be an asshole. They recruited a CFO. Amazing guy, CFO. I worked with him in close association, in close proximity. Nice guy. So he put his papers. He told me what he told the chairman of the company. He went to the chairman of the company and told him, sir, it was nice working for your company, but I'm leaving today. So I want to tell you something. Your company, your style of functioning does not require a CFO. It does not require a finance manager. It requires only an accounts manager. Please do not waste people's career and your money. And he came and told me. Because if you want to turn it into an organization, you have to provide independence to people. If you cannot provide independence to people, organization will not grow. So, Sriram, should I turn into should I hire professionals or not? That's a question. The answer lies in the first one. Reliance grew even after Dhirubhai Ambani. And even after Mukesh Ambani, Reliance will grow. Tata grew beyond JRD Tata, beyond Ratan Tata, and beyond Chandrasekhar, and today family even is not there. Family holds only 7% of stake in HP. If you want to scale up, if you want to make it big, if you want to have an iconic organization, hire professionals. If you cannot, tell yourself, it's good to talk about all these things, but not practical. When you understand this, it becomes better. So this is what is the drivers for growth. So ask yourself the simple question. With this, what is the missing link? Yeah, I will talk about this missing link and other things maybe in the future webinars, but quick thing is long-term vision, most of the people have. Everyday running, most of the people have. Missing link is medium-term planning. Now, that is why I'm saying that look at what is that need to be done in the medium term. So family business management, I want to conclude. Thank you so much. It's almost 1 hour. Think one, if you are together as a family, you can face Corona and COVID better than anybody else. It is not survival of the fittest, it is survival of the fastest, survival of the quickest, and survival of the swiftest to change. And to do that, you will have to bring the family members together. And succession planning, recognition of the youngsters, and talent is extremely critical. And family businesses survive on loyalty. You can't expect the loyalty from an outsider as much as you can expect loyalty from the family member, as a result of which you need family members. At the same time, if you want that family business to turn into an organization, you need to bring professionals. Professionals are expensive. And when you're bringing professionals, you got to give them independence. If you think that you are paying the salary to the professionals, then that is not an organization. It is still a pandaba. It is still a business. Have a structure to the organization. And if family businesses do not succeed, organizations will have a major problem. And look at digitization, look at change, look at being together as the cornerstone for any family business. Okay, now I would be more than happy to take some questions. I have a few more things to share, but then I think we are running short of the time. So as a result of which, I have only one thing. I would request all my webinar people to do this small thing. I'm going to share in the chat box the link, the Google link. Nothing else. I just want, if you feel that the webinar was useful, it was having any purpose, the time you spent was good enough, then just go to this Google link page. You can copy this and go here and give your feedback on my Google page, on G Business page. That's all I require. Okay. So at this point in time, I would be more than happy to take questions from all of you. So it's going to be less than an hour now. So any questions you have, I would be more than happy to answer them. And any comments you have, make a note of it. Vikas saying we're going to be together. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Sure, sir. Thanks a lot. Okay. I'm going to take questions now. The best part is, if you have questions, that'll be the best thing which can happen. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Facing issues to make understand elders about expansion and taking financial risk at this situation. Okay. Now, Arikana Venakonda says amazing session. Thank you very much. If you want, I can unmute you, many of you also. Mayur, can I unmute you? Where is Mayur? Mayur Jain. I will unmute all and then I will mute all. Now I will allow participants to unmute themselves, which means you can unmute yourself. So you can unmute yourself, Mayur. You can ask me the question.
Currently, what I am facing right now, my professional business, we are going for more than 30-40 years in the rice industry. But seeing to the current pandemic situation, our product in the rice industry is rate of.
I'm not able to hear you clearly. Some of you, please mute yourself, because I wanted to unmute only the person who's asking me the question, and then you can raise your hand and mute yourself. Paresh, please mute yourself. Mayur, Western, mute yourself. Yeah, I'm muting some of the people. Yeah, Mayur, you can go ahead and ask the question. Now you should be clear.
Currently, sir, what is happening now? We are into the two vertical of the business right now, and
Okay.
the business is going in the food industry, and myself is looking after for food industry and rubber industry. And seeing the current situation due to the banning in the Chinese product and having the very good impact in the food grains as the government is giving free foods to all lower class of people. There is a great opportunity in the business right now. That if you want to take an opportunity to realize for after 1 year or 2 years, you have to do the investment right now, then only you can grab the situations. So in some point of time, I'm not able to understand, make seniors that are all working, project reports and everything have made them understand, but they're not able to take the risk. They're thinking like, this is only the corona effect after post-corona, things going on a very worse way. How you want to handle the things?
See, Mayur, one thing is that at this point in time, everybody is trying to play cautious. So there is nothing wrong in that. Now, look at short sprints. Don't look at marathon. Produce results, show results to people. Okay. Even if I'm going to ask somebody to invest X big amounts, nobody is going to invest. So what you do is ask for small, show results, quantitatively build it up. That's the only way by means of which you will be in a position to convince people. So you can't ask for okay, give me 25 lakhs. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. I want a 1 crore. No, nobody is going to. Because today, for most people, cash is the key. If I have cash, I can manage. Okay. And if I don't have cash, I can't survive. That's how the mentality is now. So nothing wrong with that. So at this point in time, okay, you have to now enter into a kind of a negotiation in terms of, okay, how much can we invest? What kind of results will come? So you will have to engage in a conversation which will help them to take a decision. Right? Have I answered your question? Right? Yes. Next. Can you give your views on, okay, I would not get into a lot of I have my interest in that company, so I can't talk. Somebody had asked me, a particular person has asked me a particular company about why they are not doing succession planning. I think they did pretty well. After that, again, they got into a mess, but I can't get too much into it because I am associated with the particular company, so I cannot answer that question. Anyway, it was one of the external companies only. Great session for current scenario for the business owners and newcomers. Bala Murugan, thank you very much. Meenal Sharma, after years of trying to be innovative, even younger generation starts walking on the footsteps of elders and continue their business in traditional ways. That's because, when you're with the elder for all the time, initially you try to influence them. Now they have tried to influence you. So innovation, this is the time for innovation. Okay. This video will be available on YouTube. You can show to the elder generation also. I'm not blaming elder generation. I'm not saying younger generation is wrong, elder generation is wrong. This is a time for collaboration. Energy of the young and the experience of the elderly is a deadly combination which can work wonders. And that is the need of the hour. Thank you, Meenal. Hope I have answered your question. Great session, JVC. Thank you, Archana. Rahul Srivatsa. This webinar will enable all generations to come together and continue to deliver successful business. Yes, first and foremost, all of them have to talk. See, it's a question of some of you may be already doing. It's a question of number one, sorry, sitting together, putting your minds, first and foremost, working on your business. I know of several people here in this webinar itself who have worked on their business for a long time. But again, it's back to basics. Work on your business. Anybody raising the hands? Western, yes, please. Yeah. I'm unmuting you. Yeah, you're unmuted. Yeah.
So then am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So I'm a chartered accountant working for a family-owned company.
Okay.
So the next generation, I have a very good rapport with my chairman, but then the next gen who is same my age, he's 2 years elder to me, his son. But then I am not able to, rather my frequency should match with him more. But then I am not able to work with him. We are not going along. I am going very along. with my chairman, I have a very good frequency. We get along very well. I understand what he wants, I deliver. But then it is not the case with the son. It is opposite. How to deal that situation?
What's your name?
Madhusudan.
Madhusudan, because I've seen you as Western. Okay. Number one, can I give you a very frank answer?
Yes, sir.
I call it as I and J factor. Insecurity and jealousy. Between
Yes.
you and your chairman,
Okay.
there is neither insecurity nor jealousy.
Yes.
Between you and chairman's son, I don't know who has got
Yes.
that. I don't know, because I can't tell that, Madhusudan. Either you
Yes.
have that or he has that. I don't know. But there is
Yes.
either side can have, or both the sides can have. Insecurity and jealousy is the reason why the problem is. So a open, honest communication will work. Insecurity that, okay, Papa may think from his end, Papa may think that, he is better than me, and that, or he might have told even. You don't even know.
Yes.
The elderly person must have told his son, hey, he is doing better than you. If I give him more work, he's doing it. And you are not doing it. Sometimes what happens between the father and son in the whole house is not known in the office.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
develop, make effort to develop a relationship with your
Sure,
friend.
sir, I'll do that. I'll do that.
It's an I and J factor. I call it as I and J factor. Insecurity, jealousy. That's all. Nothing else.
Sir, I am
Thank you.
from Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
From
Vaibhav
Bareilly.
Goyal. Yeah.
I am from Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. Sir, many of family members have been. I am doing a general discussion. Like many of the people of my age have joined many different high-tech companies. They are engineers. They pursued BTech and everything, and they joined those companies instead of running their own family businesses. Right now, after 10 years, they are at heights. Well, they have reached their level where they had to be. So, is there any chance that I can convince them to come back to their family business?
Not everybody will come, but you can obviously have a discussion with some of them. Okay. Because it also depends upon how much of effort they have to put in to revive the business. That is also their Vaibhav.
Okay.
Because when they have been in the private organization, some of them would have that emotional commitment that yes, I will come and do something. Okay.
Yeah.
But some of them would have probably gone into a comfort zone. No, it's not for me, kind of stuff is there. So, but you have to engage with them in a conversation. That is what is critical.
Okay.
That's what is critical.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Is it advisable for daughter-in-laws to be part of family business? 100% yes. As long as daughter-in-law understands their limit and lines. Because I also note that a few daughter-in-laws, have also been the cause for business to get derailed. So it has to be a very carefully driven process. As long as you're supporting, you know your strength, and work on that. That would be the most important point. I can say here with the name also, Sri Krishna Jewelers in Hyderabad, one of the leading jewelers in real estate. They have done my course way back in 1999. And the daughter-in-law, Bharti Agarwal, was an amazing businesswoman. In fact, she was the role model for all the women folk in Agarwal community in Hyderabad. She was the first person to go to the business and tell the whole world, we too can do it. I'm talking about way back in 98, 99. And she was an amazing businesswoman. She went to Israel, did gemology course, and rest is history. So they will, and they can, and they should. Gradual process. Okay. I would prefer, somebody is saying MRK, I would prefer to talk to you in private if you organize a meeting. Okay. Let me know. I think all of you must be having my WhatsApp number. You can give me a WhatsApp. Do not please give me a message in the next 3 days. Extremely busy till Tuesday. Wednesday onwards, I'll be relatively fine. And we should be able to work out. Thank you for this topic, Sir Minal. Thank you very much. You know how the topic got evolved, right, Minal? You're there in the training on when it happened. Okay. But you can still, MRK, you can do one thing. You can still put a question to me on the WhatsApp, and I will probably, if time permits, I'll answer to you. Otherwise, I can get into a meeting with you and then take it forward. It's 7:40. We will wind up in the next 5 or 6 minutes time. Anybody else has anything to say? Archana, problem is younger generation don't come forward. If young people watch your session, particularly this one will be helpful. Yes, Archana, I think, it's all a question of somebody giving gyan or what it is, I don't know. But I think both younger and elder generation will have to come and watch and learn and take up things. I know, I don't even know if the person is there or not. One of the persons told me, before his son signed up for the course, he said, see, I'm not going to take a decision. I'm going to ask my son to call you and he will take a decision whether he wants to join or not. I said, fair enough. I said, it's wonderful. It is better that as a father, don't put pressure on your son because he's educated in US, he has worked in several companies. And it was really good, actually. And he talked to me and he in fact, he joined. Anand Badnaban, succession planning, when to bring in professionals working on your business and wisdom and energy combination. Wonderful tips, Sriram. Amazing sessions for those in family business. Thank you, Anand Badnaban. Sriraj Shetty, great session. Sriram, thank you very much. Sriraj, thank you for joining. Hope it was useful. Session was engaging and knowledgeable. Thank you very much. Okay, right. Anybody else has anything to say? Some of you may be practicing a lot of things what I spoke about in your business. If any of you say, okay, fine, I've had a seamless transition to my children coming into the business and I've been able to run with professionals. If you have, because I can't pick up names here, if any one of you have such kind of an example where you yourself have done it very well in your business, I would request you to lift your hand and probably share your moments for a few minutes. If you have something great to share, if you've already implemented, I think if you already worked on your business, if you brought about the changes, because one is to listen from my perspective, I would love to hear from an audience perspective. Any one of you had implemented those things, you already started changing. Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Sir, I had joined your COE experience in November 2013 batch. Since then, I was a student. I had completed my articleship. Now I have completed my chartered accountancy as well. It's been 10 years that I have been practicing with my father, who is also a chartered accountant. A few years back, I told him some strategies to change, like reporting formats, and I have also changed him how to negotiate with the clients. And he implemented them, and the results were fruitful as compared to other things. Results were fruitful. No doubt, we had to change ourselves a lot. It was we used to have long discussions, and we at some points he used to be angry with me. Why should I do this? I have been doing this like this. Why should not we continue like this? So I am telling you the past 10 years I have convinced at some point my father. I also have been convinced by him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
So,
wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Vaibhav. Anybody else who'd like to share before we conclude? Thank you very much.
Can I come down?
Who's that?
Chandrasekhar here, Mr. Jairam.
Yeah, Mr. Chandrasekhar, go ahead, please.
I'll be requiring maybe 2-3 minutes. It's not only just to share my experience as a case study, but also to create awareness in the people who start business without knowing the repercussion of an unfortunate incident of family-run businesses. So is it okay if I can just take 2-3 minutes? Maybe it's not sufficient, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible.
Go ahead.
I am convinced that this is very important after going through a phase in our life. So I thought I'll just share it with all of you people who are there, both in the audience as well as you people in the panel. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. See, I started a business 20 years back, only thinking that I could just start a company with a letter and a bank account and make money. But that was not the case, number one. Second, my brother started a business 5 years before I started, and we thought we could just do business and make money. But one fine day, suddenly 3 years back, he was no more. He just collapsed and he was no more within seconds. Living.
We lost you, Chandrasekhar.
The family high and dry, living the team very different line from what I was doing. And though we used to talk to each other without interfering in each other's business, it was a situation, it was a panic situation for the entire family and the team, and the liabilities that we had, and the exposure we had in the market with our receivables and the inventory. Why I'm telling you specifically about this is, unless you have a team who could be delegated this responsibility
I think we lost you again, Chandrasekhar.
And such
Hello.
for that short period of time where you don't know where you are, and by the time you recoup and get ready to handle it, at least you have some breathing space. And this can happen only if you trust people, you delegate it to people, and maybe you can just think about the next phase, what next, without incurring too much of a problem to all the dependents, both employees as well as the family members. So I went through this stage, and we could manage only because and the team knew that there was somebody in the family who could pitch in for a small period of time. And fortunately, within 6 months or 8 months, I could find a person in the market who was in a similar line, much elder to me. And like you told, professional people should be put in place. After putting him in place, things started coming back into, though initially the degree of acceptance in employees was not good, but gradually they realized, and it took a lot of effort from my end to convince them it is in your interest that you have to allow him to deliver.
Okay. Got it, Chandrasekhar. In fact, I would say the other way around.
Situation is not there.
Yeah, I think
So
your voice is breaking. Yeah. Wonderful to know.
We are much more comfortable. The team has got the trust. Few of them left, but we could create an impression in the people who stayed back that yes, they don't have to have that kind of a panic situation, and as long as there are professionals managing the business. So these are a few words. I thought I'll just.
Yes. Thank you, Chandrasekhar. Thank you very much. I think it made sense. It makes sense. In fact, what I've covered today is only the basics, because I know quite a few people who are this is the first time they're attending my webinar, because in my experience of having worked with so many family businesses, a lot of complex issues are involved, but I didn't even touch them. I touched some basic stuff because these are the kind of questions which I had. In fact, as you were speaking, one of the persons were mentioning that, why don't you elaborate and have a series of family
I
webinars?
have Jairam, one more. Jairam, one moment. I just have a small thing to add. Hello?
Yeah.
Jairam, if you can permit me.
Sriram.
If it was not handled subsequently,
your voice is breaking, Chandrasekhar. That is the problem.
the family would have gone bankrupt.
Okay.
With all the liabilities not resolved. So that's another important factor. Yeah. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Chandrasekhar. Your voice is breaking. That's right. So somebody was asking me, why don't you have a series of webinars? I don't know. I'm not decided. Once I decide, I'll let you know, because it's starting. I know a lot of things I covered today was basics, but even if if basics are not right, then things go terribly wrong. And this is a time to look at basic things. Youngsters can bring in innovation. Youngsters can bring in energy. You have to work on the business. The old model is not going to work anymore. The old order changes, yielding place to new. And God fulfills himself in many ways. Even when good custom should corrupt the world. So even good custom should have to get disrupted. And that is what has happened. So that's what it is. Thank you very much, Chandrasekhar. Right. Jagdish Adappa. Thank you, Sriram. It is thought-provoking. Love you. You played an important role in our growth. Exactly. And you also played a very important role in my growth, Jagdish. Okay. So it's been amazing to have you here. So anybody else has anything to say? Otherwise, it's 7:48, another 2 minutes, and we're going to close. And thank you so much for every one of you for having come here and patiently been with me for the last 90 minutes. It's been one of the longer webinars, longer than the usual ones. And thanks a lot for your presence. Stay safe. Please ensure that you take care of yourself, because we need to take care of ourselves. We can't put the pressure on the government. I'm hearing a lot of people saying beds are not there, ventilators are not there, testing is not done properly. But are we taking care of ourselves? The governments can do only up to an extent. We got to be a corona warrior. We got to be a COVID warrior. So stay safe. All the very best. Have a great weekend. Work on your business. Succeed in the family business. Have the vision. Decide whether you want to go with professional side or you want to run it by yourself. And that will play an important role. And if you have an younger generation, involve with them, engage them, empower them, give space to them. And that's the only way we can fight the corona together, right? Love you all. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you. God bless us all.